evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. We are live, and today is slightly different because our host has now become our guest. Welcome, Dr. Kate Bartram Brown.
Well, thank you, Anne. Thank you. I'm very excited. I might be a little bit nervous, actually.
Oh my gosh. Well, Kate, don't you be worrying, because I would like to introduce you. And I actually have an A4 page of an introduction here because this lady is one of the most remarkable ladies that I know. Not only is she a cherished friend of mine, but I have known Dr. Kate now for many years. And we met on our journey in the Modern Mystery School. But I would say that Kate is one of the best examples of leadership that I have ever met. And she has taken the tools of the Modern Mystery School and she has applied them to literally every single aspect of her life. And I know Kate won't mind me saying, but that includes one of your journeys into ill health when you were in your 20s, Kate. Kate has overcome cancer. And I know you're very open about that, Kate, and you've applied the tools of the Mystery School to that. But also you've applied the tools to your business life as well. And you are now the creator of a global business called Mini Me Yoga, of which many of you may already be familiar. Also, Kate is an international teacher with the Modern Mystery School. She travels all over the world, spreading what can only be described as joy. To sit in one of Kate's classes is quite the experience. I know that I've been sitting alongside you recently, Kate, and it's just been pure, pure joy. She's an international teacher. She's actually one of the leaders of Healers Academy alongside Divina Lisa Rossi of Brazil. Kate is also a member of the Council of 12 and in the Mystery School, and she is the CEO of Modern Mystery School United Kingdom and the European Union. So my goodness, so many credentials, Kate, and not only in the area of healing, the area of business, the area of leadership. I think there's just so much to say, and I'd just like to invite you to say a little bit about your own journey, because I'm sure you can give us a little idea, first of all, of how you've managed to achieve so much inside such a short lifetime, and you know how you have applied these tools to bring joy to your life.
Thank you, Anne. It does sound like rather a lot, doesn't it? I know. I was like, listening to you, I was like, oh, that's really, really interesting to hear somebody else describe you. But thank you for such a lovely introduction. And yes, I have been extremely blessed. I really, for me, the Mystery School tools have been the gate opener to a very multidimensional life. Before I had these tools, I knew that there was a lot more out there, and I was very active in trying to seek what that was, and I kept going down all of these paths and all of these routes, and really I would always come up against this kind of brick wall. And that was the main thing for me. Is like I would always get so far, and then I would then be stopped. There wasn't anything more, and this caused a lot of up and down in my life. And I really feel like my teens and early 20s, I was just searching. I was just looking for that magic, just searching for that something that was going to help me reach my full potential. And I was just really very, very, very lucky that I managed to find the Mystery School at such a young age. As mentioned, I did have cancer in my late 20s, and I think that was a sliding doors moment, if you like. And I realized just how badly I treated myself. I'd burned the candle at both ends. I had pushed myself physically, mentally, and emotionally to its absolute limits. what I was trying to do was expand. I was trying to push. I was trying to grow, but I was doing it in a way that was causing more harm than good, because I didn't know how to do that. And once I got sick, I kind of realized, well, hang on a minute, I'm going to have to change my lifestyle completely. And that's what I did. I completely changed my outlook on life and decided that I was going to find the magic and that I was going to live my life in a way that I enjoyed, not the way that everybody else expected me to be. And sure enough, just as I did that, just as if by magic, the mystery school turned up. And, I got my life activation in the Middle East, and very quickly Healers Academy and such like. So it's been a wild adventure since then.
Yeah, it's amazing, because not only that, while you were doing all of that, you actually studied natural medicine as well, and you became a doctor of natural medicine. So obviously, health is a huge aspect of what you do. And I know that you have your own healing practice. Healing is a huge part of your teaching as well. Do you want to expand a little bit more on that? Because you're also, a leader of Healers Academy around the world as well. So maybe you want to talk a little bit more about healing.
Yeah, for me, it has been a very long journey, and I had no idea. If we go back pre-mystery school, and I had no idea that my own physical, mental, and emotional well-being was actually a reflection of how successful I was being in life. And I could only, I was successful, but I was absolutely at my limits, and my body and my mind and my emotional state was pushed to the limits because of that. And what I realized was that when I started to heal myself and I went on this journey of self-discovery, that actually I started to become more successful than I had previously, with a lot less effort and I had a lot more calm in my life. My relationships were a lot more rewarding. I had inner peace. I had joy. And so all of a sudden I started to realize this correlation. I was like, oh, hang on a minute. So I'm healing me, and then all of this other stuff is happening in my life. And that was a big realization for me. I was like, oh, okay, this is a game changer. And it really did start with the life activation. When I had that life activation, I knew something had happened, but I wasn't quite sure what it was. And as you know, it's like an hour and a half session. And you think, oh, what can this do? But it really was the point at which these floodgates opened of potential. And I was like, okay, now I can start to go on this path of self-discovery, self-healing. And from that, the physical pain started to diminish within my body, because I was in a lot of physical pain at the time. Also with my mental state as well. I was very down, even though I appeared to the world to be very happy and joyous, and positive. Deep inside of me, I was struggling. I was really struggling. And so this life activation gave me this hope. And then I started to understand I needed to take control of that. And once I understood that I needed to take responsibility and control for that, then I went to Empower Thyself. And this was when it all started to click in for me. I was like, okay, I can do something every day that's going to help me to grow and to heal and to be successful. Well, for me, my business brain, because, I've been an entrepreneur since I was 24. And for me, that was like, okay, this is a game changer, because, you've got all these things wrapped into one. So I started to experiment with that very quickly. And as I started to experiment with that, the healing process that took part in me was phenomenal. I mean, physically, I completely changed. The pain in my body started to disappear. The swelling in my body started to disappear. My mental health and well-being, it started to balance out. And I started to take control of of my own healing. And I had never understood that process before. I didn't understand that I could do that. I could be the one to change. I could be the one to be in control. And that was a fantastic feeling. So, of course, naturally, I wanted that for my family and friends, and I wanted more of that. So I went to Healers Academy, really for my own healing, if I'm honest. And I received that. But of course, as we know, the magic happens, and people turn up, and they want, to take part in, this journey with you. And of course, I was able to share that with others. So for me, this correlation, and I think this is important, that when there's something that you're not happy with in life, whether it's business, it's your money, it's relationships, it's physical, it's mental, or whatever it is, it comes down to us healing ourselves from within and our energy structure. It's all correlated. So it doesn't matter what is going on, we have the power to change it. And for me, Mystery School, powerful is beyond words. Like, I don't know how, with that, I can achieve anything. And I guess that comes back to the question that you asked earlier, how have you done so many things in such a short space of time? And that's because of that, because I realized that it's limitless. There's full potential. My full potential is limitless. I truly believe in the magic, and I truly believe that everybody has the ability to do magic in their lives. So and that includes magic healing, is healing. For me, that is also part of magic as well.
That is so amazing, Kate. It's actually, I really love the way that you describe how, first of all, this is possible for everyone, that this is not, just the few. But also that it's a journey. And what's really interesting was, as you saw changes in yourself, you saw that reflected in the amount of success that you were creating around you. And it was very much reflected then in every aspect of your life. But it's interesting because you also gave a lot of focus to that. You were able to bring it into the various different aspects. And, I'm thinking about, what people are experiencing in the world right now. In particular, business people who are maybe struggling. We've got COVID to deal with and lockdown, and maybe having to think differently. And you did describe yourself as an entrepreneur, for such a period of your life, and continued in so many areas of your life. So maybe you could talk a little bit about how maybe someone who is in the business world might consider exploring some of this, or why they might feel that is how that's going to play out in their lives.
Yeah, it's key. Honestly, I was thinking, I've often thought about this, and I was thinking about this earlier. It's funny that we are now talking about it, because as a business owner, as a business person, as as someone that is leading others, whatever that role might be that you're in, what is the key asset that you have? The main asset that you have is you. So if we are talking about business and we want to look after our assets, we want to make sure that they're in tip-top condition, because, we want to buy, we want to sell, we want to do all these different things. No matter what industry we're in, why would we not keep ourselves in tip-top condition? Because we are the main asset of the business. It doesn't matter whether you're in management or you're an owner of a business or whatever it is. So this is what I see time and time again with business owners, is that they set out with all these amazing ideas. I was one of them. I ran a business pre-Mystery School, and I've run a business after Mystery School. So I can talk, from my own direct experience here. And what I notice is that people go into business and they work really long hours. They have to do lots of different things, wear lots of different hats. It takes its toll mentally, physically, emotionally on you. And the one thing that they don't invest in is themselves. think that that is an afterthought, or maybe, you know, even if it's a salt bath or taking some time off or whatever it is, you'll often hear business people go, I don't have time for that. I can't do this. I was one of those people. And at some point that there is going to be, a point where you can't give anymore because your cup is so, you know, you've got nothing more to give. That's it. You know, you're depleted. So if we start investing in ourselves as, as we would, an asset in the business, and we started to invest in our mental and emotional well-being, we started to invest in our healing, we started to invest in keeping our energy structure strong, then we start to see changes in our business. I would say to all business owners out there, if you are struggling right now, it may go against every grain in your body to spend money on yourself, but I would highly recommend that you go and do that right away, no matter what it is. You know, here in the Mystery School, we have a path and it's tried and tested. It's been done for 3,000 years. I've used it to create a global business, and I know many successful people in the Mystery School that use the tools. That's our way of doing it, and we know it works. But you know, I'm saying do something, whatever it is. Get some healing, get some talk therapy if that's what you want to do. Go and do some yoga, go and try, I don't know, learn martial arts or something like that. You know, get the chi flowing back into your body, because when your energy structure, because we're physical, yes, we are physical, but we also have this energy structure around us. And that energy structure, has to hold all of the things that we want in our life. Now, if that energy structure is strong and it's a strong foundation, we can hold lots of different things. We can hold houses and cars and good relationships and nice food and, you know, all these different things. But what if your energy structure had holes in it, or it was weak in different areas, and you started to pile in all of these different things like cars and houses and holidays and, you know, whatever it is, and all of a sudden your energy structure, you could not hold it because you're not strong enough. It starts to slip away. And that's what happens with business owners. They create a lot, they manifest, and then it starts to slip, or drip or fly out the door. And you'll often say to a lot of entrepreneurs, yeah, I earn lots of money, but I also spend lots of money as well. Or there's always seems to be something that I need to spend money on. That's because our energy structure, we need it to be really strong and stable to be able to hold that. So that comes with self-healing, but that comes with investment in ourselves, time and money spent into us. And money is energy. And so again, spend it on yourself. Signal to the universe that you are worth it. Because when you start to signal to the universe that you're worth it, guess what happens? Like attracts like, and all of a sudden, all these different things start to come into your life. So, even though it seems like to our logical mind, oh my goodness, I shouldn't spend any money on myself, I shouldn't get any healing, this is just a luxury. No, it's a necessity if you are in business, I would say. For me, that has been the major game changer, and and is why I can do so many different things at any one time. I had run mini-me yoga in 40 countries. I travel all over the world, teaching and doing healing sessions. I have a family. I go on holiday to the Bahamas a lot. I did my doctorate within 2 years, all at the same time. Now, if you were to tell people that you did that, it kind of it sounds like you're lying. It kind of sounds like it's not true, But the reason why we can do that in the Mystery School, and there's lots of people doing this, is because our energy structure is strong and we expand it so that we can hold more. Because we're always going deeper into our learning, always going deeper into our healing and deeper into knowing ourselves and knowing that we are limitless. So for me, if you're a business owner out there, please consider go get a healing, go and expand yourself. And the life activation, empower thyself, and galactic activation, if you can get those 3 done as a business owner, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Just a little top tip.
Wow, Kate, that's so amazing. So, just what I'm gathering from you at the minute is that, people who are out there, if they are maybe starting, they haven't invested in themselves as such before now, they may try, some form of healing, maybe some form of class where they're getting in touch with their physical body, like yoga or Qigong. And I know that we're running classes, meditation classes and Qigong classes, during the week, from the Mystery School as well. And if anybody wants to get in contact with you, regarding that, they can go onto the list to receive those classes. But you're also talking about, something simple like a salt bath, or taking time out, just a little bit of quiet time, something to as you say, create a little time for themselves, because if they're continually going, it's about this idea about filling the cup. But you mentioned 3 keys, and which would be very much in keeping with Mystery School teachings, which are the life activation, the empower thyself, and the galactic activation. And would you like to expand a little more on those, because those seem like very important things, and certainly things that you started your journey with, I think maybe, was it in your 20s, Kate, when you were first introduced to the life activation?
Yeah, my early 30s, I found the life activation, and then I did the galactic activation, and I went to empower thyself. And I was, for me, I can't explain or perhaps get over the importance of just those 3 keys. If you were not going to do anything else in the world, I would say, if somebody came to me and said, right, what healings can I do? Or, how can I change my life overnight? And I would say, do those 3 things. Do those 3 things, and you have everything you need to start, because you have the opportunity and the potential awoken within your spiritual and physical DNA, number 1. You have released old patterns that have been holding you back. Fantastic. Then, in Empower Thyself, you are going to learn how to manage your own energy structure, and also learn how to manifest what it is that you want. Fantastic, as a business owner, or, for relationships or healing or whatever it is. And you also learn how to look after your own energy structure in terms of making sure that you're always at a high vibration. And we know lots of people talk about the law of attraction, and the law of attraction and The Secret. Yeah, it's great, but it's only the beginning part. And people, when they're reading this, they go, oh yeah, this is great. I can attract it all with the mind. And this is great, a starting point. But it's much more than that. And this is why many people then fall down on the other parts, because we need to do it. And take action. And so with the Mystery School tools, it gives you the full formula. It's the full formula of manifestation. So right away, you're raising your vibration using the 4 elements, and the 4 elements are how we actually manifest and create. So already, you're on the road to achieving whatever it is that you want in life. And this is so important, because when we start to realize this, and when we start to get the hang of this, then it's really understanding, what it is that we want to do and how we want to show up in the world, etc., etc. So this is a whole lifetime of learning, just in this 2-day class, and and of course then we receive the initiation at the end. And initiation is extremely important in our lineage, because it is what anchors that knowledge, that energy into our energy structure, so that we can do this in the physical world. And for those of you who perhaps think, what is she talking about? Initiation and energy, and it all sounds a bit wooey, but really, actually, it's science. It's really science. We know that science tells us that everything is energy. So, if we know everything is energy, why are we still working from the logic that some things are not energy. It doesn't make any sense to me, you know. So Mystery School have been teaching this scientific approach for over 3,000 years, and they teach it, and it's very particular. It's a very particular process, and that's the science part. And then you add your expression to it, which is the creativity. It's what you want to bring into the world. And when we have the art, which is your expression, and the science, when we link it together, it creates magic. And magic is limitless. Or as we say in the Mystery School, you know, magic is turning nothing into something or something into something else. And every business owner should know how to do that. Or if you want to heal yourself, you should know how to do that. This is the basis of being successful in every area of your life. So Empower Yourself is massive, and the initiation of, you know, to anchor all of that. And then, of course, the galactic activation is the ultimate Adam Kadmon superhuman gene. And this has been talked about in many, many scriptures, in from many different cultures before. And people have been seeking this for a long, long time. Some manage to attain it, but in the Mystery School, of course, we can share that with those that are ready. And I highly recommend that, because it's for us. We believe in the Mystery School that we are moving into a time where we can create heaven on earth, that we can all live in a world of peace. And I would think that most people, if not all people on this planet, want that. We truly want that. Maybe we don't agree with everything that everybody is saying all the time, but genuinely, I haven't met anybody who wants to harm another. You know, that's never our intention. And I really feel, you know, that's what we all have in common. But to get there, we need to shift. We need to do something differently. And when we receive the Adam Kadmon, it will help us jump that quantum leap. It takes that quantum leap so that we can get to Shambhala, what we call Shambhala, which is heaven on earth, which is, it has had many, many names, you know, in different cultures. We call it Shambhala. And for me, this is key. And interestingly, especially for our children are so sensitive, and they really need this. And, you know, these keys, when you receive them, it's not only just for you in your life, but you will start to live a life that is a very high vibration, and that will influence your family, and it will influence the way your children respond in the world, your partners respond in the world. It's yes, it is for us, and of course we can only, you know, work with us first and foremost, but we can certainly be an inspiration, or you know, for others. And if you have children, then I would say this is also a very important piece, because they are sensitive and they know what they want in the world, and we need to make that quantum leap to make it happen.
Oh, it just sounds wonderful, Kate, and I know your passion, you know, for this work and for the teaching, and you can hear it coming out in what you're saying as well. And what I'm hearing as well is that this is literally for everyone, you know, plus also it has hope for our future and for our children as well. And I know you're passionate connection to, you know, education of children through mini-me yoga, and, you know, through making sure that children have the option of being able to work with mental health issues, especially through yoga, meditation. And but you're saying here that this aspect is so important for little sensitive little ones. And, you know, you were talking there about children, and we notice certainly in our world today that teenagers are particularly struggling, that they are having a difficult time in adapting to our modern world, that they do turn quite a bit to medication, and a lot of children are medicated now as well. So I'm just wondering, have you anything that you want to that in particular, Kate, knowing your background and how important mental health for children as well is in your own world?
Yeah, I mean, when I was growing up, I was extremely sensitive, and I masked that very well. I was so sensitive that I masked it by being super confident and super perfect and super, everything was like, so rigid. And at some point, that breaks down because it's not real. And children mask their sensitivities in many different ways. And for me, I knew how important it is for us to share simple tools with children so that they can cope and don't have to have that breakdown in their teenage years or whenever it is, or turn to medication or turn to drugs or alcohol or stealing or whatever it is, So it's incredibly important to me that we are able to share this in the world. And my thoughts have always been that it doesn't have to be complicated. It's very simple to share these tools. Mystery School, for me, showed me how simple things really need to be. And we don't need to make it a big complication of the mind, and you've got to do this on a certain day and then this and then that. No, it's more about making something simple and doing it as and when you need it. And I learned a lot on the path, and it was very much part of my mission to then share these tools and techniques with the children. And it works. It absolutely works. And when we can share that with the children, they have hope. They know there's something else. They know there's something more. They know there's magic. They know there's potential. If you can bring just hope to a child, then they can turn that into miracles. They are fantastic manifestors. Their imaginations are phenomenal, and they can create just about anything. And I want them to stay that way, to have that confidence in creating what it is that they want. And for me, that has been a passion. And when we as parents and as aunties and uncles and grandparents, when we start living our life in a certain way, the children will copy us. They mimic us. They never do as we say, and we all know that, don't we? Because when we were growing up, and our parents used to say, "Don't do as I do as I say." And no, it's human nature. It's human nature. And so when we start living this life from this higher vibration, this perspective, we start to influence the children in the way that they behave in the world, and the way that they can handle the issues that they're going through. So, for example, if I'm having a bad day and I'm struggling, then I know I can go and meditate. I can go and use my tools from Empower Thyself. I can put on some music and I can feel really good. I can go outside for a walk. And my stepson, Harry, knows those tools, because he's seen myself do it and my husband do that. So I'm not then going to, start taking my moods and frustrations out on everybody. Of course, sometimes, we're only human. But we have a way of changing that in that moment, and that is the most important thing a child can learn. Oh, hang on, not what mom and dad do when they are, when they have stresses in their life, because we're all going to have stresses in our life. There's no point in, trying to hide it from the children. They're going to know when we're stressed and we're up against it. They're clever,
Yes.
And then they see and they go, this is how mommy and daddy handle it, you know, or you know, or so again, if they're seeing it and then they start to mimic it. So again, if we as parents, you know, and teachers and educators and grandparents and aunties and uncles, everybody has a role to play in educating the future leaders of our planet, which are our children. Everybody has that responsibility. And that responsibility is when we're out on the street, the way we behave in restaurants, the way we talk to people, waitresses and waiters, the way that we handle ourselves in difficult situations in the office, when we're on our mobile phones and we're talking to our friends. We are modeling all of the time. So, of course, if we're in a good space and our vibration is high and we are doing that, then of course it's going to be easier for the children to go, oh yeah, that's how I can handle this really tricky situation at school. I saw my auntie doing that, and yeah, that looked like a really cool way of handling things. So you know, as much as we can.
I really love that, Kate. It's like being the change, you know, that you want to see in the world. If you want your children to behave in a certain way, it's like modeling, as you say that, or, you know, at least giving them a way or a choice, you know, because until they see it, they don't realize that that's a choice and that they can make that choice for themselves. And, you know, seeing the outcomes, seeing the ripple effect all around them, because they are sensitive, they are aware, and they're so aware of energy that they're picking up on these vibes all the time. And so when they can see the ripple effect with that, then they can choose, you know, what kind of ripple they want to send out into the world as well, which I think is really, really beautiful. My goodness, Kate, we've covered so much inside such a short period of time, and I realize we're coming close to the end now, but I just wanted to thank you, you know, for sharing your vision in life, you know, with us today, and also, you know, your approach, because it is truly inspirational. And I think where you've managed to keep it simple, and, you know, to apply these tools, if someone was looking, you know, to connect with you, or to connect with the mystery school, or to get a better idea of, you know, the three keys that you mentioned, the activation, the empower thyself, the galactic activation, if they wanted to know more about it, how would they find out about that, Kate?
Yeah, they can join us on our website, which is modernmysteryschooluk.com. And I have, you know, it doesn't matter where you are in Europe, because we are a very close team, and I can make sure I can connect you to somebody that is local to you. And also we have a closed Facebook group if you are in need of support, or if you need you know, a community and you want to join a couple of free meditations a week. We also have our closed Facebook group, and you can email me at kate@modernmysteryschooluk.com, and I can send you the link and we can add you to that. And also I'd be happy to send you information, or have a chat to anybody who wants to learn more about the three keys. You know, of course, we are in times, COVID times, where, you know, sometimes we can do classes and sometimes we can't, but more often or not,
Yes.
we are able. And I know, you know, I can let you know when these things are happening, and we, you know, we really, you know, we try our best to get these classes on in between those periods when we can meet. So so they are available, and, you know, and if you're listening to this and you're not in Europe or the UK, then again, please feel free to contact me, because again, you know, I can pop you in touch with people in the different areas around the world. So I would be happy to do that.
Okay, that's fantastic. And look, thank you again for taking the time to chat to me. I'm so glad that we did this. Thank you so much, Kate. Wish you well in all the amazing work that you are doing, both in the United Kingdom. I know you're enjoying lockdown at the moment where you are. and you're still working away through this media. So thank you so much for running this, Kate, as well as being the guest today. And we will talk to you again soon. I think it'll be really good to connect again and to have you on, maybe even this side of Christmas, to impart more wisdom, even just to find out what's happening and what's coming up in 2021. It might be nice to have an idea of that in the United Kingdom and in the EU as well. So thank you again, Kate. I wish you well in all of your amazing work, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you, Anne. Thank you so much for interviewing me. It was an absolute pleasure. I felt very passionate about all the topics, as you can tell. So thank you so much.
Such a pleasure. Have a great evening, Kate. Bye, everyone.
Bye.